Breaking news, breaking news, breaking news. Yo, check it out. Pooh Shiesty and Gucci Mane going at it because the tapes was released with Pooh Shiesty sitting there going at it. They said he had his homies with the Draco all in Gucci Mane's face. Everything was jumping off. Yo, I'm going to break this down. I'm going to show you both sides because I notice a lot of people think that I'm picking Pooh Shiesty's side and not Gucci Mane's side. I'm not picking Gucci Mane's side when Gucci Mane been projecting the image that he's about the street, making videos in the pool, saying that he'll never go to the police, and this is the image he sold to Pooh Shiesty. So Pooh Shiesty was dealing with the image that was portrayed. And now Gucci Mane is reaching in his bag of tricks and saying, oh, I'm a businessman. That was never conveyed to Pooh Shiesty. I'm going to break that down so you can hear both sides, and I'm going to read a couple of comments where they got on me. You know what I mean? They got on me. They call me old dumbass. You know what I mean? But it's all good. But I'm going to break that down. I'm going to respond to them so y'all understand. But let's start this party right. All right? Yo, we back. A lot of jewels. Sit back. We're going to enjoy this ride. Check it out, Rob. What I'm dealing with right now is you got, let me show y'all where we at, right? We got to ride into that. You know, y'all want to ride into that?
Tonight, court documents reveal new images of rapper Pooh Shiesty allegedly robbing Gucci Mane in Dallas. These pictures from a court filing show Pooh Shiesty, whose real name is Lontrell Williams Jr., and his alleged accomplices. The person with the black box over their face is Gucci Mane, whose real name is Roderick Davis.
Pause. Let's be real, right? This the national news, right? Now, don't miss it, right? Because we give you all the jewels that you missed over here, Unique Mecca Audio. You notice how they got Gucci Mane's face blocked out because now he's officially classified as a civilian victim that was kidnapped and robbed. So if y'all think this is a game that y'all just debate back and forth on social media, no, this is real life. Pooh Shiesty looking at life in prison. You see that Draco in that young man's hands? That young man have to make a choice right now. The choice is, does he want to go to jail for Pooh Shiesty, or do he want to work with the federal government and let them know that Pooh Shiesty called him, told him to come. He came with the intent to rob, kidnap, and everything else to solve this case in order for him to get a plea. Now, if he's lucky, he'll wind up with 15 years. The reason why he'll wind up with 15 years is because just that Draco in his hand, he's looking at 30 years by itself that cannot legally under law or statute run with anything else. And that's where if they wanted to not give him time for that, they would have to dismiss that in a plea agreement. That's 30 years by itself. Then the kidnapping is another life sentence, 30 years even call it. This young man have to make a choice. Does he want to do this 60 years for Pooh Shiesty? Would you do the 60 years for Pooh Shiesty or any man? They're going to show you text messages, all this other stuff that was up there. Let me get some music in this because I'm riding. They're going to show you text messages and all this other stuff to show how solid this case is. But I want you to understand that joint in his head, that's 30 years. So all of y'all that got one in the closet, in the dresser drawer, just know if you get caught with it, it's 30 years by itself without the crime that actually got you there. So he have to make that choice. I want y'all to put in the comment, would you make that choice? All right? Now, can't get no more real than that, because what we like to do over the Unique Mecca Audio is we like to ride.
Williams and several others are accused of robbing Davis while armed in an attempt to get released from a record deal.
Now, that's Pooh Shiesty. This is the national news. Let's bring some perspective to this. They blocked out Roderick David's face because he's a victim. Everybody knows who it is, but if they didn't, then he'll be able to get at him because he'll be able to say that they're putting his life in danger, putting it out there that he's the victim and he's the one testifying against Pooh Shiesty, and Pooh Shiesty got all these other little gangbangers and YNs running under him and his life is in danger, and they put him in jeopardy of getting, bodied, unalived. But at the same time, he already knows that they know who he is. But if they didn't put that block over his face, that's how serious this is, that this is national real news. Pooh Shiesty will be spending the rest of his life in jail if he's convicted of this crime. And that's why he must put those lawyers up. Now look at that man in the picture behind me, right? That's Pooh Shiesty's father, holding the very contract in his hand and a duffel bag that they could easily say the Draco came from. So that means Pooh Shiesty told Big 30 to get it. Pops went and got it, gave it a Big 30. This is how they'll make it look. And Pops is through. They're already saying that he's been working with the peoples for a minute. We're not going to get into that because, that's not us over here at Unique Mecca Audio. We're dealing with the lesson. So we don't want to start a debate if Pops is hot, Pops is not hot. That's on y'all. Y'all know the paperwork. You've seen it. Big shout out to 1090 Jake. He put out the best. That's where I go and go get my content when I want the real what's going on with the paperwork, just to give him that props. But that's the father. At what point did the father forget that he was the father and capable of saying, son, no, you're heading for destruction? But instead, the father has the contract in his hand and he's being videotaped. Right there, if he was the father, he was supposed to step right to whoever had the camera and say, give me that and delete that now. You got me on the tape. You got the Draco on the tape. Who was there to orchestrate this crime? Well, let's finish our ride, because we like to ride. We got to ride.
Pooh Shiesty isn't due in court until next year.
All right, so that's where we at with that, right? So we see Pooh Shiesty.
Show Pooh Shiesty who.
Now, that's him and Roderick Kelly, right? I'm going to go to a different screen because I want to ride out for a minute, right? And then we're going to get back into riding and, doing what we do. But let me break this down. Right? I got to get some music first. Let me get situated, right? Big shout out to Ron G. If y'all don't know who Ron G is, I'm going to give him his plug early. You know what I mean? That's DJ Ron G. That's who made the beat. That's who did the beat for the Mecca Audio chant in the beginning of the joint. That's Ron G. Check him out. Get his music. All right. See, I plugged him early because I don't even care about all this monetization stuff. All right. Now, let me start this off with a blade. We're going to start this off with a smooth razor blade right now. This is not just Pooh Shiesty versus Gucci Mane. This is not just a robbery allegation. This is not just a contract dispute. This is the street image turning around, pointing the gun back at the man who made millions selling the code, which is what Gucci Mane did. If y'all forgetting, who Gucci Mane is, right? That's Gucci Mane, all right? Just so you understand. That's Gucci Mane. Now, right? So, pointing the gun back at the man who made millions selling the code. That is the part nobody wants to say. Gucci Mane became rich off the trap image, off the street image, off the police image, off the I stand on business image, off the whole world believing he was one of them. But now the tables turn. Now Gucci's not rapping about someone else getting pressure. Now he's not watching another man get tested. Not allegedly, the pressure came on. Now, a gun is not in a music video. Now the gun is not lyrics. Now the gun is allegedly in the room in real life. And when the gun is allegedly in your face, all that cold talk gets quiet and tested. The new life says, I got a wife. I'm Gucci, man. I got Keisha Dior. I got money. I got businesses. I own 1017. I'm that nigga. I got too much to lose. And right there, that is the unique Mecca audio twist. I'm gonna give you the twist, right? Gucci may be a victim from the civilian world. In the civilian world, Gucci is definitely the victim. But from the street world, he's being questioned by the very code he helped promote through his music, making millions. Pooh Shiesty may be accused of moving reckless, as like even Gucci Mane himself said, is a crash dummy. But from Pooh Shiesty's mentality, his mindset, he may have believed Gucci was still living by the same street law that he sold to the world. So tonight, we're not just talking about who told, we're talking about what happens when a businessman keeps wearing a street costume. And a young street dude believes the costume is still real. You heard Pooh Shiesty in the very video say, yo, you real dude, you ain't never go to the police or nothing. When you look at it again. Pooh Shiesty is talking to Gucci, tell him, yo, you're a real dude, you ain't never went to the police, you ain't going to the police on this, right? I just caught you slipping, you know? Now let me give you the jewel in that, right? The streets are dangerous, but the image of the streets can be even more dangerous when the wrong person believes that image from the street. Now I'm calling everyone listening, report to class. You're in the unique Mecca audio street class. Question, did the code get tested or did the image of Gucci Mane get exposed? Put that in the comment. If you don't know why, that's because this, I got the little 100,000. This ain't it's trash. Like I said, I got this, right? That don't mean nothing. I got 160,000 subscribers, 56,000, something like that. That don't mean nothing. This message means the world. And this message is what you call, put the brakes on. So only way to get it out is for y'all to go in the comments and give an emoji, hit a like, put a comment in, and I just gave you the perfect thing to respond to. But I don't want to slow it up and repeat it. Y'all can rewind it. When you see the bell, you know that's where a question is at. That's how the class is going. But thank you for reporting the class. Now, twist number one, right? Unique Mecca audio twist number one. Gucci outgrew the street, but kept the shadow following him. Here's the first twist. Gucci Mane is not the same man, let's be honest. He grew up, he changed, he got married, he got money, he got healthier. He worked out while he was in prison, came out a whole new man where they even called him a clone. He became a businessman, he entered boardrooms, he built a label. He became a brand. And I respect his growth. And his growth gets a round of applause. His growth gets a round of applause. All right, relax, y'all. Relax. His growth gets a round of applause. I respect a man who changes his life. I respect a man who stops living reckless. I respect a man who chooses his wife, his family, his future, and his freedom. This is not weakness, this is wisdom. But here is the problem. When the man changes, the message has to change too. When Gucci changed into a businessman, he should have came forward and said that he's no longer a part of the street, that he's a businessman and this is what we should follow. But it took a Draco in his face to wake him up. I'm just keeping it 100. Got nothing against Gucci Man, nobody, because every man make their own choice. Only person judge them is God at the end of the day, and I'm not the God, so I'm not judging them. You know what I mean? So, like I said, when the man changes, the message has to change too. When the lifestyle changes, the image have to change also. Because if the man evolves but the image stays criminal-minded, that's where the youth get confused. And that's where Pooh Shiesty got confused. Pay attention now. Y'all better hit the like and put a comment and y'all want to get this to the youth. Y'all need to get this in the school. Oh, you need to reach out to the Justice Department. You're doing so good. Well, just hit a like and a comment, and there's a Cash App thing on the top. Make sure you hit the icon that says it was created in 2020. And back to business. Cop the book of Roaring Harlem at roaringharlem.com. Now let's ride. Now, right? They see the mission, right? But they hear the trap call. They see the wife, but they hear the no police talk. This is where Gucci's at mentally. He sees the business, but he also hears the street constitution. That's what's dangerous, because a young man still standing in the fire may not understand that the older man is now speaking from safety. Gucci speaking from safety. The older man has lawyers. The older man has security. The older man has accountants. The older man has contracts. The older man has protection. The young one does not have. So the twist in this is Gucci may have outgrown the street privately, but the public image still had street smoke on it. And when smoke stays in the air, someone might walk through it thinking the fire is still burning. And Pooh Shiesty thought Gucci's fire for the street, the desire for the street, was still burning. That's where Pooh comes in, right? Because Pooh Shiesty may have looked at Gucci and said, "You're not just a CEO. You from the code. You one of us. You from the talk. You talk, I talk. You from the same rules that I govern. So if business went bad, we're not gonna deal with paperwork, because I'm dealing with goo-wop." So that's the answer to the question that a lot of y'all seem to have about, oh, he wouldn't have ran up on a white CEO. Hell no. A white CEO would have let him know from the door when you signed his name on a contract. Right there, we're doing strictly business. That's what it is. I'm financing you. If you violate this contract, I'm taking your black ass to court and suing you for everything, getting everything back. But Gucci said, nah, homie. We one and the same. You know what I mean? Now, so like I said, in Pooh Shiesty's mind, if business went bad, he was thinking, we're not gonna go to no paperwork. We're gonna take it to the street. Remember that. Got to give you the jewel of the day. When you leave the street, make sure your message leaves too, because someone still trapped there might think you never left. Now, I need y'all to drop a jewel, which is a comment, so you understand and we follow with the metaphor. Can a man grow out the street but still sell the old street image? Is that right? Is that wrong? When the youth grab that perception and run with it. Now, twist number 2, right? I'm gonna give you a second twist real quick. I'm riding today. I'm gonna ride. This might be 45 minutes messing with y'all. You said you don't mind me being long now, so don't go crying now that I'm being long-winded now, all right? Pooh did not just hear the music, he believed the code. Now here's the second twist. Pooh Shiesty did not just hear Gucci Mane's music. Pooh came from a real street mentality himself. So when he heard the language, he did not hear entertainment. He heard confrontation. He heard a code. He heard rules. He heard a way to interpret disrespect. Pooh Shiesty's interpretation of someone or Gucci Man, the CEO, disrespecting them, is to take it to the street, because that's what Gucci Man presented. He heard a way to answer his loss. He heard a way to handle business when business feels dirty. Pooh Shiesty felt that he was done dirty. So he went and handled his business from a street point. And now you have y'all that's not from the street judging Pooh Shiesty. Only people could judge you, like even the Constitution said, it is a jury of your peer. Pooh Shiesty is not a part of society, so you're not qualified to judge him. Pooh Shiesty is not a part of your civilian world, so he's not in a position to judge you and tell you that you're a sucker, you're a square, because you wouldn't pull the Draco if a dude violated your contract. See how it go both ways? Make sure y'all hit that like button, emoji, comment, and definitely the hype button. Keep this thing moving. Now let's ride back to the show. Now I'm not just saying that makes anything right. By no means am I saying that that's making anything right. Let's get that straight, because I know the rat bastards is out there trying to twist up the words because they mad. You cannot dispute me on what I say if you haven't lived that life, never lived that life, not from that life. That means if you never read that book, you can't sit there and hold a conversation about Shakespeare if you never read Shakespeare. I'm not saying that what I'm saying justifies anything, because I don't do no mollification. That means trying to make an excuse for what you know is wrong. I know what Pooh Shiesty did was wrong. Was 100% wrong from a civilian point. And I know what Gucci Man did was wrong. 100% wrong from a street point. But y'all trying to answer in comments and disrespect this one and that one from the way they feel, from where their mentality at. And I'm going to say it openly, everybody's mentality should get where Gucci Man's mentality is at. But then let the people know. You're entitled to square up, as they say back in our days, and become a civilian. But don't sit there telling the people you stole from the street and then you witness something you ain't supposed to witness, and all of a sudden, blah, 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 blah. And then now you say that person is wrong because he was someone's baby. No, he was a criminal in the street from what he projected the image to be, and he got dealt with like a criminal in the street when he violated the codes of the street. I'm exposing how things really work, so you understand. And hopefully you'll know not to hit the street or want to be a part of the street. Because from the outside, people say, why not just sue them? Why not just walk away? Why not let the lawyers handle it? But a street mind does not process disrespect like a corporate mind. Pooh Shiesty dealing with a street mind. He was dealing with Guwap, who said he was from a street mind. And that's the problem. Not that Guwap went to the police. It shouldn't have took a Draco in your face to let the people know that you wasn't down with the street no more. If Pooh Shiesty, right, let's ride this question. You know, we got to ride it, and we're going to hit the bell. We're going to hit the bell. Whenever you see the bell while you're skimming through the video, you know that's where the jewels is at. Now, was Gucci Man right for selling this image and not coming off of it until a Draco was in his face? Because all Pooh Shiesty did was test Guwap's gangster. He tested his gangster. And we've seen it unfold in real lifetime. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Take the L and walk away. But should it have took that? Because now you done tricked the young mind to believe that you was one and the same with him. You know, let's get this right, Ron. The street, like I said, the street mind does not process disrespect like a corporate mind, Ron. A street mind says you played me. You took from me. You violated me. You have to answer to that. And that is the trap. Because the street answer may feel powerful for 5 minutes, but the federal answer can take 30 years. The street answer may make your name ring for one night, for one viral video, but the courtroom answer can turn your name into a number for decades. The street answer may make the crowd say, you stood on business. But you walk up that road by yourself. Because the judge may say, you joined the conspiracy. You had a Draco holding a man hostage at the door, got them debating on unique Mecca audio with little homie if that was kidnapping or not. That's the difference between street applause and legal reality. All right, relax, man. Relax. Come on, we gotta ride. Let me ride. All right, I'm riding. Y'all like to ride? Y'all like to ride? Put in the comment. You know, I gotta give you things to say to put in the comment because y'all see they get memorized on the things that's coming out my mouth and you forget what's going on. Pause. But let's ride. All right, we gonna take this ride. That's the difference between street applause and legal reality. One is noise, the other is years. One is ego, the other is prison. Now, let me get right to the jewel, right? I'm gonna get right to the jewel. Because I feel like, man, I've been on here 26 minutes already. I apologize to the suckers that don't want me on here long. And I applaud y'all that, want to hear the message. Pooh's trap was not just what he allegedly did. The trap was believing the street code was stronger than the federal law. Let me hear your verdict on that, Ron. And let me hear your verdict on this. When I say verdict, that's a comment also, so you know. Did Pooh crash out? Or did he believe the image too literally? Did he believe Gucci's image too literally? Put it in the comment. Now, Ron, cause we riding. It's gonna be a minute, man. We riding. I'm enjoying this, man. Y'all enjoying this? Like I said, put in the comment if y'all enjoying this. I'm having fun right now, Ron. Now, all right. Gucci's mind. Let's talk about Gucci's mind, right? When the tables turns, right? Meaning when now Draco's in your face, when normally you're just behind a studio mic talking about if a Draco's in your face, how you would handle it. But when it's actually in your face, now you see how he answers it. Now let's go to Gucci's mind. Not the rapper, not the legend, not the image, not the man. I'm talking about the husband, the businessman, the person sitting there when the situation turns real, because it's easy to talk street code when the gun is in a song. It's different when the gun is allegedly in your face. It's easy to talk, no police talk, never snitch, never rat, all that, when somebody else is the victim. It's different when you're the one who now feels in danger. And that's where he has to go in the courtroom and let the court know that he felt his life was in danger and that if he would have left, they would have unalived him, and then the kidnapping charge would stick. Now, that's only being human. I'm just keeping it 100. That's being human. I'm not here to bash Gucci. I'm not here to bash Gucci. You know what I mean? I don't agree with him standing on this image of him being goo-wop. And then when his gangster's tested by a soldier, now he turns around as a general and say, I'm no longer in that army anymore. Because that's basically how I'm seeing it. If y'all see it that way or not, put in the comment. I'm an old mentality, so just bang, it's over, right? Now, like I said, that's human for him to feel that way. That's real. Fear changes people. Pressure reveals people. A gun in your face will make a man rethink every slogan he ever repeated on wax, man. Pooh Shiesty tested gangster and he exposed that everything that he done on wax was fugazi. It's about breathing. It's about surviving. It's about going home to Keisha Dior. It's about his wife getting a phone call or you walking back through that door. That's the different level of reality that we're dealing with. Y'all in class, y'all pay attention. So Gucci may be thinking, I'm not just losing everything over the old me. I'm not dying behind the image that I sold and made millions for after I made the millions and I'm out. I'm not throwing away my wife, my label, my money, my future, my family, just to prove I still live by the rules I outgrew. And from a grown man view, that makes sense. And that's the point. All that makes sense, so you understand. I'm just giving you both sides. So you rat bastards that just can't keep your fingers off the effing keyboard, pay attention. I'm just giving you both sides, man. I ain't even give you my opinion on it. I'm just telling you how the code go. I did 26 years in the feds. I ran the streets for over 50 years. You understand? I done sold drugs all up and down the East Coast, been all far out to Chicago, Cliff Livingston's club back in 92. I mean, I done been all over. For y'all from Chicago, y'all remember Cliff Livingston Club. Then we could go, let's go to Miami. I'm talking about Rolex, strawberries. You know what I mean? Pac Jam down in Miami. This is how I traveled to these different places. The Mirage in DC. Polo Bear up in Richmond. The Greek Fest in Philly. These are all the banging spots that my old heads listen to know about. I was at these spots, got pictures and videos, so I know what I'm talking about. Just sit back and listen, and hopefully you make the choice to stay on the mother effing sidewalk, because the streets is not for you. It's a dirty game. They kidnapped, tied up, and pistol whipped my own mother. And I couldn't report that to the police. I lost my brother, 2 shots to the head. I couldn't report that to the police. I took 3,500 hours of psychological training in the federal institution to find out why I'm twisted like that when I know that's not the right way to be, but it's embedded in me. So I gotta find a way to scrape it out my system. So I'm doing the YouTube trying to talk to y'all and catch y'all before it get branded into your system like it did me. But that's how real it is. If somebody body your mother, you don't go to the police and cooperate if you're in the street world. And I know that sounds stupid as a mother effer. Well, I'm a dumb trigger because I didn't go cooperate. And it's not your place to judge me because I feel you a sucker for going to tell them that somebody did something to your mother. If you ain't gonna handle it yourself, leave it alone. No one telling you to commit no violence, none of that. That's not what we're here for. I'm just telling you how sturdy the rules are. That's why I keep your feet planted on the sidewalk when I talk to you. Now, right? Like I said, he don't have to do none of that. Gucci don't have to do none of that to prove a point that he, still live by the rules that he outgrew, right? I'm not saying that. And a man, from a grown man view, right, that makes sense. But from a street code, the view that Pooh Shiesty looking at it, like a lot of y'all looking at it, you know what I mean? I'm gonna speak on that view too. Hold on, right? Hold on. When it was somebody else, you talked real heavy. Gucci talked so heavy when it was everybody else. Right? We said, we ain't gonna get into, he didn't go on social media say nothing. He lived the image that he'll never rat, so I'm sure he had his own thoughts behind when Young Thug, Little Woody, and all them was going through their situation, and this ain't to bash them either, just got mentioning names, because what I'm dealing with is the lesson in this situation that one of our young brothers are going through. That's why I don't come up here bashing Woody and Young Thug and this one and that one. I just speak the code and I speak it raw. And then you get the rat bastards that grab it and try and say like he's pointing the finger. I don't have to point a finger because you know in your heart what I'm saying is right. They talk real heavy when it's somebody else. And they even promote that lifestyle. When it was somebody else, you said, this is how it go. You never go to the police. But now that it's you, the rules change. Put the brakes on. This is the dark mirror looking at you. This is the contradiction. That's why the story is bigger than one case, is bigger than one man. And I say I'm bashing no man because this is what happens when entertainment, identity, fear, money, and street law all collide in one room. And once they collide, somebody pays. Pooh Shiesty's paying with his freedom. Gucci Man is paying with his brand, his image. Somebody loses, somebody explains. Somebody sits in court and the other sits in a cell. Now, let me give you all a scenario, right? I'm gonna give you a street scenario, right? You see RD face covered up back there, right? Now, they covering up faces on the national news. That's what's funny to me, and I know none of y'all even noticed that. They're not even allowed to show his face, and everybody already know who's under the black spot, right? But if Gucci was, as the elder, right, to get with Pooh Shiesty's lawyer and his lawyer and let him know, look, in our world, he ain't do nothing wrong, but I'm not giving up all I got. Let him know we could renegotiate the contract, and I'll go in there and I'll say that I wasn't scared, I wasn't under duress, I didn't feel my life was threatened, you know, and that I did sign the contract over to him. But give me a contract now saying that we're gonna renegotiate this. That's all he had to do. And then once he do that, Pooh Shiesty go to trial, he might still blow trial. I know you rat bastards saying you still got the ex-cop, you got the cameraman, you got the this, you got the that. But with Gucci taking out the equation, he got a way better chance of beating it. Now he's over the 50% chance of beating it if Gucci comes out. Because the crime is happening right here, and none of those other people that y'all say, the cameraman, the off-duty cop, none of them is in this video. So they can't testify to this video. Only Gucci Man could do that, and this is the case. Whatever other little robbery charge they get out of it for whoever robbed somebody, and that's when the co-defendant's supposed to say, no, I'll take the robbery charges. Let Shiesty go. Shiesty didn't need to rob nobody. Tell the truth. I just came down there, you know, in their mentality when they came, man, this is a robbery. We get ready to rob Gucci, man. It ain't just about no sign, no contract. This will come up. All the spoils you get is yours. All I want is the contract signed. That's what Pooh Shiesty's mentality was. I just want the contract signed. And whatever spoils you get from the war is yours. So that's why they upped and took their jewelry, but they know Pooh Shiesty didn't do that. The government know Pooh Shiesty didn't do that. Everybody know Pooh Shiesty didn't do that. But his comrades allegedly did that because they was hungry and wanted the bag. There's a whole bunch more stuff I'm supposed to play off of it. I'm up to do the video after this. But this gonna be a whole, like a Netflix series. I'm gonna do a whole nother Pooh Shiesty joint. Y'all want it, put it in the comment. But let me finish with the jewel, because I'll be here all day. So much jewels to give you in this, right? So much jewels to give you in this. Let's get this right? It's easy to preach the code when the pain belongs to someone else. The real test comes when the code knocks on your door. Now, y'all all reported to class? Y'all reported to class and ready to answer these questions? Let's go in the comments now, right? Did Gucci change, or did the situation force him to admit he already changed, or he never really was? Did the situation expose that? Put it in the comment. Right? We halfway through. I'm still riding. I'm good. But where we at, man? We at 30. This gonna be over an hour. Y'all talk about, if y'all want me to do a live, let me know. But if I do a live, y'all gotta come on and talk to me. Don't have me just talking, because if I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do that by myself like I'm doing. So stop telling me, Unique, do a live, do a live, do a live. And then when I do a live, y'all scared to call in, y'all scared to come up. Stop it. Hit the like button, emoji, comment, push this, get the kids listen to it. Now we're gonna talk about Pooh Shiesty's mind. When the street law feels personal, right? That's what we're gonna talk about. Now let's go into Pooh's mind. Again, not to excuse him, not to make him a hero, not to promote the move, but to understand the psychology of what was going on in his mind. Because a young street mind does not always see a business dispute. He sees disrespect. Pooh Shiesty didn't look at it like y'all thinking that, oh, Gucci did bad in business. He did do bad in business because they was in business, but Pooh Shiesty's not there. He's still in the street. He's saying he took from me. That's a disrespect. That's not a contract dispute in Pooh Shiesty's mind. That's what y'all have to understand. Y'all want Pooh Shiesty to go to court to fight about a contract when Pooh Shiesty is fighting about respect, about his honor, that he took something from him. Two different fights. Gucci Mane is fighting with his paperwork and business. And Pooh Shiesty is saying, screw that paperwork. You dissed me because you took from me. Now, Pooh Shiesty sees betrayal, right? He sees someone older playing with his future, taken from him. He sees someone using business language to hide a street violation. Pooh Shiesty like, nah, you trying to play this paperwork game that this and that because you trying to, you're trying to hide the fact that you violated me on the street code because you knew the price of that brick and you still sold it to me for that. And Gucci Mane is saying, well, you should have checked the price of the brick, meaning you should have got a lawyer. So it goes both ways. But when you trust someone and say that's your brother, that's where the responsibility falls for him to teach you. That's how a street mind can twist the whole situation. Pooh may have been thinking, you knew where I came from. You knew what I represented. You signed me off my energy. You promoted this energy. You profited from my energy. So don't act surprised when this energy comes back to you. That's the dangerous thought that Pooh Shiesty's having right now. This is a prison thought. Pooh Shiesty thinking like, oh, convict, man. You violated me. It ain't about the money, it's the principle. That's the thought that sounds powerful until the indictment arrives. Now it's the wake-up call because the feds don't care about how betrayed you felt. They care about what they can prove. And that's where young men lose. They think emotion is evidence. It's not. They think street pain is a defense. It's not. They think the code would explain to them what's going on. It won't. In court, the code becomes motive. The pride becomes motive. The argument becomes motive. The weapon becomes motive. The crew becomes conspiracy. The whole thing turns into one big paperwork. You see how crazy this is? Y'all riding with me or what? And the paperwork does not care how real you were, Pooh Shiesty. The paperwork does not care who respected you. The paperwork does not care who played your music and didn't pay you. The paperwork don't care how many people say free Pooh Shiesty. The paperwork only asks one thing. Can they connect you to the act? Can they connect you to the people? Can they connect you to the plan? Can they connect you to the weapon? Can they connect you to the fear? And if they can, the street code gets buried under federal law. Y'all understood that? Now here go the jewel. It's been a minute before I gave you a jewel ride. I'm riding right now. We've been on here 45 minutes, man. I apologize to the suckers and rat bastards that don't want this jewel for this length, but we riding right now. The street may understand why you did it, but the court only cares that you actually did do it. Now, let me hear your verdict, right? in the comments. Let me hear your verdict in the comments. Was Pooh Shiesty thinking about justice, revenge, or reputation? Now, the gun in the room changed the whole language. We're gonna talk about the gun in the room, right? You see a little homie with, right? Let's get back to that. We're gonna talk about the gun we see in the room with the little homie. All right. I want to show that joint there. I like that. You know what I mean? So y'all can really get a visual of this, what's going on. All right. Now, that gun in the room, right? The gun in the room changed the whole language and the whole atmosphere of this whole situation. This is the part the youth need to catch. Before the gun, people can argue. Before the gun, people can talk. Before the gun, people can sue. Before the gun, people could walk away. Before the gun, there's still exits. But once the gun enters the story, the exits start closing in, like the four walls in a cell. The language changes, the atmosphere changes, the charges, the law changes, the consequences changes. The whole room changes. Now it's not just pressure. It's not just pressure. Now it's threat, now it's fear. Now it's a weapon, now it's a victim, now it's a federal interest. Now it's surveillance, now it's phone records, now it's witness statements, now it's co-defendants, now it's court dates, now it's bond hearings, now it's plea pressure, now it's years. Because I'm going to do a little video on Lil Durk about what federal pressure feel like. So if you want the video on Lil Durk about what federal pressure feel like, put it in the comments. Now, this is where the music stops. The beat stops, the jewelry stops shining, the entourage gets quiet, the studio dies, the Instagram comments, they don't matter no more. Now, your mother's worried, your lawyer's billing, the prosecutor's building, the judge is listening, and your freedom is bleeding away from you. Stay on the sidewalk. And this the jewel. The weapon may make you feel in control for a moment, but it gives the government control for years. Now, drop a jewel in the comment, right? How many young men lose their life without dying because they brought a gun to a problem? Now, I feel like giving me a unique Mecca audio twist. Y'all want to ride with a unique Mecca audio twist? Yeah, we riding, man. I've been on here, what? Almost 50 minutes. This joint gonna be over an hour. I don't care, I'm riding, man. It's Friday night, I'm going out tonight, I'm chilling. The unique Mecca audio twist. The image became the co-defendant. This is where the image became the co-defendant. Now, here's the unique Mecca audio twist. The image is part of the case. The image is part of the pressure. The image is part of the confusion. The image is like an invisible co-defendant because the image taught one thing. The grown man may not live another way. The image said no police, no fear, no backing down, no court, no soft moves. But real life said, I want to live. I want to go home. I want my Keisha Dior back. I want my freedom. I want my 1017. I want my future back. That's two different languages. One language is for records and one language is for survival. And the youth get trapped in between the both because they do not always know when the rapper is playing a role. They do not always know when the businessman has replaced the street man. They do not always know when the code became marketing. So when Pooh allegedly moved, he may have moved against the man he thought Gucci still was. But Gucci he may have responded as the man he actually became. which is a businessman and Keisha Dore's husband, and not going to jail for nobody. Which you got to applaud him for that. But being that he was pushing that other image, that's where the scrutiny comes in. That's a collision. Pooh may have been dealing with old Gucci, right? Gucci may have been living a new life. And the federal government does not care which version is real. They just see a case, they just see allegations, they see charges, they see evidence, they see defendants. And that is how the image becomes a dangerous bastard, I'm gonna say, right? Now, we gotta hit the jewel, right? The image can get you rich, but if you do not control it, the image can walk you straight into court. Now, y'all reported to class? Y'all all in class? Y'all got your phones ready to put the comments in the box, all right? Because you already know, I told you this third time I'm taking this a long-ass video. I already got the 100,000 subscribers. I know the content is fire. Y'all know it's fire. But y'all got to put in the comments, you know, hit the like, the emoji, all that, hit the hype button so we can get the word out there, right? So now, being that everyone's reported to class, was the real co-defendant the street image? Do you think the real co-defendant was the street image? Now, the second twist, right? I'm gonna give another unique Mecca audio twist. Gucci may be right and still contradicted. Now, this is important. Gucci can be right as a civilian and still contradicted as an image. Both can be true. That is the mature breakdown. That is the unique Mecca audio grown man breakdown. Because from a civilian view, if somebody allegedly puts a gun in your face, you have the right to survive. You have the right to protect yourself. You have the right to protect your family. You have the right to tell the truth about what happened. You have the right to call the police. You have the right to call the feds. That's real life. That is the law. And that's all we promoting over here. But then they got another law for those that move outside the law and the ones they said they wanted to remove from society, which I was one for 26 years, so I know. But from the street image view, the audience is gonna say, hold on, you built your name off different rules, a whole different set of rules. You told us, you don't move like that. You told us to stand for something, to stand on something, to stand on everything. You said the streets handle street problems. Now again, I'm not saying that street thinking is right. Let's get that right. I'm not saying street thinking is right. I am saying that is how the street mind is going to judge it. And that's why the contradiction is so heavy, because growth is right, but misleading the youth is wrong. And that's why we have unique Mecca audio. Let me give you a little intro, man. Hit that like button on here. This is the first half of class. We riding back. Relax. Let me ride back, right? Now, that's the thin line. A man has the right to grow, but he also has the responsibility to stop selling destruction like it's still his religion. Because when you keep selling destruction, somebody younger may buy it. And when they buy it, they may pay with their freedom, or you may pay with your life, or your record company 1017. That is what makes this story so dark. The product is image, the price is years, the customer is the youth, and the receipt is the indictment. Pay attention when I speak. Put it in the comments. We're getting ready to get to the jewel, which is a question. So if you're in the classroom and you riding with me and you taking this tutorial, make sure you respond in the comments. You can be right in real life and still be wrong for the image you left behind. Let me hear your verdict on this. Y'all the jury now. Let me hear the verdict on this. Can Gucci be a victim and still be accountable for the message he profited from? Is that right? Is that morally right? Immorally right? Wrong? Whatever. I'm not picking a side. Y'all put it in the comments. And you rat bastards, stay off the keyboard and just sit back and listen. The industry does not pay the bill. Let's bring the industry into the room, because the industry loves this image. The industry loves the dark story. The industry loves the dangerous artists. The industry loves the street credibility. The industry loves the viral pain. It loves the mugshot. It loves the controversy. It loves the headlines. It loves the streams. It loves the brand. But it does not love the prison sentence. When the case gets real, the industry gets quiet. The label keeps moving to the next victim. The blogs keep posting. The fans find a new story. The algorithm wants a new body. The playlist updates. The clubs keep playing music. The world keeps spinning, but the defendant does not keep moving. I sat still in a prison cell for 26 years where nothing moved. I told one of the youngins when I was there that, yo, when you in this prison, when I first came, he said, man, how'd you do this? He said, dog, I let him know. I had to come into realization that this is me and this is the world. That's how fast it's going around me right now as I'm sitting still. And now you entered into that. So you have to better yourself when you go out there that you don't wind up back here. Now, the world keeps spinning, like I said, but the defendant does not keep moving. He waits, he sits, he reads paperwork, he talks to lawyers, he counts days. And that's why I speak this way. Because the youth need the part the industry does not show. They need the part after the headlines. They need the part after the arrest. They need the part after the comments, after the jokes. The part where a man has to sit alone with his decision, like Carmelo Anthony. That's why I did that series. Now I'm going to do the Pooh Shiesty Gucci Man series. That is the real movie. This is better than Netflix. This is the unique Mecca audio podcast. You know, the Pooh Shiesty series. Go back and check out the Carmelo Anthony series, because like I said, you can always look at those because it wasn't about the evidence in the case, the bull crap. I saw that. And yeah, I said bull crap because everybody got their own opinions. So I call it bull crap. I'm not trying to fish through that. I just grabbed the message, the lesson, and brought it to you. That is the part that Unique Mecca Audio came here to teach, right? So you understand. Now, let's get the jewel again, right? The industry profits from the image. The artist pays for the consequence. Now, drop your jewel in the comments. Does hip hop sell street life without showing the invoice? Now, the dark psychological cell. You know, this is my format. I got to tell you about the dark psychological cell. Y'all ready for the dark psychological cell? All right. Let's go back in Gucci's head. Imagine being the man everybody sees as a street certified. Everybody sees you as the trap legend. Everybody sees you as the one who would never fold. Then something allegedly happens when you feel danger in real life. Now your heart is racing. Now your image does not protect you. Now your lyrics does not protect you. Now your reputation don't protect you. Now it's just life and death pressure when that joint came out. in Gucci face. And he played it like a trooper to get out the situation alive. Now, you're not thinking about the audience. You're thinking about survival. That is the real psychological warfare. Because after it happens, the mind starts thinking, if I stay silent, what happens next? If I speak, what will the streets say? If I protect myself, will they call me fake? If I live by the old code, do I wish my life and my family? If I live by the new code, do I expose the old image? That's heavy. That's not simple. That's not black or white. That's a man fighting his past while trying to protect his future. And that's why the youth need to see the whole picture. Because if Gucci had openly told the youth, I'm not the man that I rapped about anymore. I grew, I changed. I was wrong for selling destruction without showing the cost, then maybe the contradiction would not hit so hard. But when the old image still stands tall, the new man has to answer to it. And Pooh Shiesty put that ass under pressure by bringing that joint to him. So you understand. Remember, when you see that question, when you're skimming through the video, the hardest sell is not always made of steel. Sometimes it's made of the image you can no longer live up to. Now, y'all reported to the class. Y'all in the class. Y'all ready? Oh, lady, I ain't gonna say nothing to the professor. You just relax. Is Gucci trapped by his own legend? Now, we just talked about Gucci Mane's dark psychological self, so we gotta talk about Pooh Shiesty's. Because we gotta be fair, we give you both sides here at the Mecca. Now go inside Pooh's mind. Not the stage mind, not the video mind, not the rap mind, the night mind, the quiet mind, the mind that's locked in the cell every night, the mind that wakes up when the noise disappears, because after the move, after the headlines, after the internet debates, a man still has to sit with himself. And when he sits, the question comes, and they come hard. Was I right? Was I wrong? Was I used? Did I react too fast? Did the code lie to me? Did the image fool me? Did I throw away my whole future over a feeling? Who's really with me? Who's just posted me? Who is going home tonight? Who's sleeping as a free person tonight? Who's eating with family? Who's counting these years with me? That's the dark cell that Pooh Shiesty's dealing with. That's where bravado dies. That's where music gets quiet. That's where the street cannot help you. That's where your mind starts showing you the price tag of your actions. Because the move may have felt strong in the moment, but the consequences has a different voice. The consequences says, you still have court pending. You still have charges pending. You still have lawyers you have to pay. You still have an uncertainty. You still have to face the system for your actions. And the system does not move on street time. It moves slow, cold, patient, paper by paper, motivation by motivation, hearing by hearing, deal by deal, pressure by pressure, until a man is mentally exhausted. I was mentally exhausted after 26 and a half years in federal prison. And I'm trying to save your exhaustion by telling you, don't come off the sidewalk unless you're crossing the street. Do not linger in the street. Do not stand in the street. Do not try and walk in the street. And definitely don't try and run in the street. That's why I tell the youth, don't play with federal time. The feds do not have to yell. They just wait. They have all the patience in the world. Now, all right, relax, y'all, relax. Y'all been on here a minute, man. I've been on here about an hour and 5 minutes. Y'all getting a good one today. The street moment makes you feel alive. The federal process makes you feel every sound you lost. Let me hear your verdict, right? Let me hear your verdict. Does the street code prepare a man for the silence of a cell? What you say to that? What the youth must understand. Let me see. Let me talk to the youth and tell y'all what y'all got to understand, right? Here we go. Young brothers and sisters, listen to me. Don't let rap image become your religion. Do not let another man's past become your future. Do not let somebody else's lyrics become your indictment. Do not let a label dispute turn into a criminal case. Do not let pride make you allergic to patience. Do not let ego pick your lawyer. Do not let reputation raise your children from behind prison bars and plexiglass. Because reputation does not visit you every week. Reputation does not pay legal fees. Reputation does not hug your mother. Reputation does not tuck your children in. The streets will tell you to stand tall, but prison will make you sit down. The streets will tell you to never fold, but the court will fold your whole calendar into years. The streets will tell you to handle it, but the judge will handle you. That's why you must think, not react. Think, not crash. Think, not perform for people who will forget you. Because the same people telling you to stand on business would not stand in the cell with you. They would not stand at sentencing with you. They would not stand inside your mother, beside your mother in that courtroom when she's crying. They would not stand with your child when your child asks, "Where are you?" That's real. That's the part the streets hide. What's the part, right? Now, this is the part that Unique Mecca Audio is here to say, right? I got to give you the jewel on that. I'm going to say that in the jewel for you. If the people pushing you towards the move cannot do the time with you, do not let them help you make the decision. Now, drop your jewel in the comment. How many young men are being pushed by people who won't pay the price? Put that in the comments. Now, we're going to talk about the code versus the principle. I know we ride, man. I don't know, 8 minutes I've been on here, but I'm having fun. Let's ride. The code versus the principle. Now, I want to separate two things. Code and principle are not always the same. A code can be emotional. A code can be blind. A code can be outdated. A code can be fair, pretending to be honor. A code can make a man destroy himself just to prove he's not soft. That's not power, that's control. That's manipulation. That's a trap wearing a crown. That's a cage. With street language. A principle, right? Principles are different. We're going to talk about principle. Y'all know what principles is? You want me to do a whole video on principle? Principle protect your name and your future. Principle protect your family. Principle make you pause. Principle make you think. Principle make you say, I'm angry, but I'm not stupid. I'm hurt, but I'm not throwing my life away. I was violated, but I will not violate my own freedom. That's grown man thinking. That's discipline. That's strength. The street really celebrates. So when people say, stand on the code, ask them one thing. Will this code keep me free? Will this code protect my children? Will this code help my mother sleep? Will this code help me out of court? Will this code save my life? If the answer is no, that's not a principle. That's a trap. Let's get the jewel, because we riding. A real principle protects your future. A fake code only protects your ego until the handcuffs come out. Y'all reported to class, y'all in the class, y'all all tuned in. All right, let's go. What code are you living by? And is it protecting you or destroying you? Put it in the comments. Now, the final Mecca audio breakdown. I've been on here long enough, but it's Friday. I might be gone the whole weekend, so I'm gonna give y'all time to watch this. And in order to get other people to watch, you get the like, the emoji, the comments, and all that. Keep it moving, hit the hype. So here's my final breakdown. I'm not here to call, Gucci weak. I'm not here to call Pooh crazy. I'm not here to glorify either side. I'm here to expose the machine. The machine is bigger than them both. The machine is the street image. The machine is the music industry. The machine is the fan base that cheers destruction. The machine is the young mind that mistakes lyrics for life's tragedy. The machine is the old code that never tells you the prison ending. This is the machine, the same machine that trapped me, that I allowed to trap me. Because the first thing you have to do is take responsibility for your own actions. Now, Gucci's lesson is this, right? When you change the message too. Do not keep feeding young men a code you no longer live by. And don't wait till a Draco get in your face to say you never lived by it. Now, Pooh's lesson is this. Do not believe another man's image more than you believe in your own freedom. Because if he believed in his freedom, he wouldn't have did that crash dummy shit, as y'all call it. Do not let street emotion make you federal property, or as they say in a Julio Fulio case, sweat equity. Do not let being real turn into being gone. And the youth's lesson is this. Study both sides. Do not just pick sides. Do not just comment. Do not just laugh. Do not just say, free somebody. Ask what the story is teaching you. Because I'm giving you all a lot of jewels over here, because this is the truth. The streets are real. The code is real. The pressure is real. The betrayal is real. The anger is real. The fear is real. But prison is the realest. Federal time is realer than that. A child grown up without you is realer. A judge saying years or decades is the most realest. A cell door closing is real. And none of it is worth the image. So let it go, and don't wait until a Draco get in your face to say you let it go. The real win is not proving your street. The real win is being free enough to teach somebody else not to die behind the image, right? Let me hear your verdict, right? I want y'all to put your verdict in the comments. Put your verdict in the comments. Did this story expose Pooh, or expose Gucci, or expose the whole street image machine? Now, I'm gonna give my closing talk to the youth, right? I keep saying I'm going, but I just feel like I'm riding, right? To each young brother watching me right now, and young sisters, listen and listen close. Do not let a rapper sell you a prison sentence inside a song. Do not let a businessman sell you a street code he no longer lives by. Do not let the internet make you prove something you would have to pay for alone. Do not let a 5-minute move turn into a 30-year regret. Do not let a crowd clap you into a cage. Do not let pride make you miss your children growing up like it did me missing mine. I went to prison. My daughter was 18 months. I came out of jail. She was 27, going on 28. Somebody explained to me what the hell you think went on in my mind seeing this woman standing in front of me. So do not let anger take your mother's place or your mother's peace. Do not let loyalty turn you into a defendant. Do not let the street convince you freedom is soft. Freedom is not soft. Freedom is power. The power to stay free. Going home is power. Thinking first is power. Walking away is power. Challenging your life and changing your life is power. Telling the truth about the trap is power. That's why Unique Make Audio does not come here to worship the street. We come here to warn the youth, to come here to expose the setup. We come here to say what the music would not always say. The streets are real, but prison is realer. And it's now not worth it. We thought it was. That's why I said now, not worth it. All right. We got to get the jewel in here. I've been on here long enough. I want to get to the 10 questions, right? Because we got to ask the questions at the end of this. So sit back. We're going to ask the 10 questions over here. So we're going to see where your mind is at. If the code costs you your freedom, your family, your peace, and your future, then that was not a code. That was a trap. Now we're going to get right to the questions, right? Did Gucci Man break the street code? Put it in the comments. Did Gucci Man break the street code? From the street mindset, some people would say yes. From the grown man mindset, he protected his life and everything he built. The contradiction is this. He may have outgrown the code, but the image still sold for it. Next, can Gucci be a victim and still be questioned? Yes, a person can be a victim in the real world sense and still be questioned for the image they promoted. That does not justify violence. It exposes contradictions. Did Pooh Shiesty believe Gucci's image too much? This is the Unique Mecca Audio twist, right? Pooh Shiesty may have treated Gucci like the old street image instead of like the new businessman. That kind of confusion can turn business into federal charges. Now, question 4. Is telling wrong if a gun is put in your face? Was Gucci right for telling because a gun was put in his face? Civilian life says you have the right to protect yourself. Street code says handle it without police. That's exactly why living by the street code and living as a businessman cannot be mixed together. Question 5. Was Pooh thinking about money or respect when he made this move? It may have been started with money, but street psychology turns money into disrespect. Once pride enters, the logic leaves. That's when mistakes become life-changing. We're already on the 6th question. We ride. The industry profits. Okay. Did the music industry help create this trap? Do you feel the music industry helped create this trap? Yes, the industry profits from the street image, but when the legal bill comes, the artist pays it. The system sells the fantasy and walks away from the consequence. Now, 7th question, right? Is street code really honor? Do you believe street code is honor? Sometimes it has discipline inside it, but without wisdom, it becomes a cage. A code that destroys your future is not honor, it's control. Who lost more, huh? Gucci Mane or Pooh Shiesty? Gucci may lose credibility with some street-minded people. Pooh may lose years of freedom. Credibility can be debated. Years do not come back. 9. Should rappers publicly say they outgrew the street? Do you think rappers should publicly say, man, I outgrew the street. If one of y'all do anything to me, I'ma Charleston White you. You know what I mean? Because you got to respect Charleston White. He telling y'all straight up what he doing. That's why I understand why they mess with Charleston White when he telling you where he at. So he's not even in your league. He's not on the playing field. He's playing with a whole different set of rules. So should rappers publicly say they outgrew the street? Yes. If you made money from the street image and later changed, tell the youth the truth. Tell them the image was not worth the cost. That's taking accountability, right? Now, what do y'all think is the biggest lesson in this right here? Do not let another man's image become your real life. Do not turn a business dispute into a criminal case. Do not confuse code with wisdom. The streets are real, but we already know prison is realer, and it's definitely not worth it. And thank you for tuning in to Unique Mecca Audio. Cop the book, Aurora in Harlem, at aurorainharlem.com. And not only that, listen to my man Murder Mook, tell him what he gets from Unique Mecca Audio. Like I said, if y'all got anything y'all wanna send me how or what you've learned from my show, take the video with the phone held sideways and send it to the number on the screen. Okay, and give me a close-up. Look at how Murder Mook joint done. If you want to be on it, show what you got from Unique Mecca Audio, man, female, old, young, white, black, Chinese. Tell them what you get from Unique Mecca Audio. Let's get it popping. Mook.
Hey, what's going on, man? Murder Mook, Harlem. You know what it is, man. I just want to express how much gratitude I got for Unique. You know what I mean? I was telling him a story, telling him how I felt about, if anything was to go wrong with my career, rap-wise, if, should be slow, and I got so many opportunities to be able to do the wrong shit. When I watch Unique Mecca Audio, I feel it, and I, to my soul, and that's keeping me farthest away from doing anything criminal. Anything criminal. He made me think straight, honestly. Made me think straight, because I've been watching him for about a year, a year now, maybe, and it just took my mind way off of that. From a year ago, it got rough. For a year ago,
Yeah.
and from watching this man, I just felt like you saved me. You saved me. And I just want to show my gratitude, and I want to say thank you, man. Unique Mecca Audio, anything you need, brother, from me.
All right.
Anything you need, man.
All right.
Cheers, toast the crime, toast the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime.
Fresh out the can of 26. He back on the strip, getting back in the mix. What he mentions a gift. You stand up 10 toes down, and I suggest you pay attention to this. Take a little gully posse and put it in Harlem. He cut from the bottom, came up from the bottom. Dropped the book, you should go and get it. The Instagram page and the YouTube, you could go and visit. Then you could consider yourself LinkedIn. Sit front row and get Jews from a kingpin. How he went through it, so you ain't gotta go do it. To not pay attention would be stupid. Talking about a man that probably put your grandfather on. Probably the reason that him and your grams got along. A man that generated millions on the block, did his time, never squilling to the cops, Mecca audio. Get it live like 2 G's in the 90s. Drop top beamer so shiny. I let shorty go, she was whining. Treat her like my past, she behind me. Spend a couple bands on the Dapper Dan. You be back again, getting green like a Packers fan. No cap, it's a roaring uptown. They be whoring uptown, Dominican bust downs. Now we on the positive, we got a lot to give. Now he trying to stop the kids from being inoperative. So take heed, homie, lend a ear. He started in uptown, he gon' finish dead. But now it ain't about selling drugs, buying cars. It's about buying property to make the community ours. So we can give